Mark with it. Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell. I am KG. Next to me is the best damn referee in the business, George Strong. Next to George Strong is the wrestling enthusiast, a man that is so dedicated to professional wrestling that even when it's boring, he gets into it. He is the enthusiast of the podcast. But as I was saying before I got cut off when I hit go live, if you want to be on a fucking professional podcast, then go see if Renee Dupree will let you be on, because this is not this. Not at all. All right. I just know how to hit go live. I can't
press play.
No, we're just a bunch of hacks.
Yeah.
Exactly. But guys, please subscribe to my podcast, man. I have so many great people coming on. Please go to my Facebook page. It is KG Landry. I have all the wrestling news. I update all the people that's gonna be on the podcast. But subscribe so you don't miss any of these people that I have coming on. I have some really, really great people scheduled that, starting next week, pretty much 2 or 3 days a week, I have booked people to interview all the way into June 30th. So subscribe so you don't miss it. And also, guys, look, I will be leaving on Thursday morning to go to Fan Fest 3. And look, if you guys have not booked tickets yet, I'm telling you, this is going to be amazing. You can go to sicw.org to get your tickets, but you're going to have people like Kevin Von Erich, the Boogeyman, Baby Doll, Bubba Ray. Where's Bubba Ray's partner?
Devon?
Devon Dudley.
Devon's going to be there. There's so many people. Jerry the King Lawler has just been booked, guys. So is in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm telling you, go book it. Get there. It is held at a Hilton hotel. So it's a nice hotel. So sicw.org. Let's get to some professional wrestling. Real quick, Jake the Snake Roberts went through some type of procedure today. His wife I think it's his wife.
Yeah.
Just posted that he is recovering. He is doing good. They were about to actually let him go home. That's great news. Let's get down to Monday Night Raw. The reason we are here, I'll be honest with you. I was expecting Raw just to be boring as hell because that's been the trend for the past 2 weeks. I didn't mind Raw last night. There were some good matches. There's a couple of things that happened. There were a couple of things that I had to laugh about that was poorly done. We'll get to it. But yeah, Mark, let's get to it.
Well, real quick, when you update stuff, such as Jake the Snake, keep in mind there's no clickbait.
Right.
So when you're reading Kevin's stuff, there's no clickbait, there's no advertisements, it's just the facts.
Yep.
All right, so we start out with Punk to the ring. Goes on a little bit of rant, calls Seth the Timu Punk. I loved it. Shortly thereafter, Paul Heyman to the ring. Then Seth, then Braun to the ring. Seth lets loose Braun to attack Punk. Sami Zayn comes out. A little melee ensues. Jey Uso comes out, and eventually everybody backs off pretty much.
So, did you guys, first off, Sami Zayn's going to turn on CM Punk. I'm telling you. Did you guys?
I got that feeling too.
Did you guys see as they all had that the chair in their hand. Did you guys notice how Sami Zayn walked to the back of CM Punk, and that's kind of where he stood? I think they're giving us little seeds that Sami Zayn is going to turn heel, and I think that he's going to end up joining Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. I have a problem with that though. I am so tired of Sami Zayn. I really am. The guy can wrestle. He can wrestle. But anytime there's these factions started, this um chaos, Sami Zayn is always involved. Find somebody else new.
Yeah, I agree with that to the extent of this is going to be a bloodline. Like he was telling Seth, this is another bloodline. But in this sense, they, like you said, planting the seed for Sammy to turn. It'll make Seth's group that much better. Like when they were celebrating after WrestleMania, like I said, just Sami Zayn getting off the rope and standing behind Jay while he's still doing the yeet with the crowd. He's just kind of awkwardly standing there, and the crowd's kind of groaning a little bit, like what's about to happen before Jimmy comes out. And then this week with that, it's just like they're definitely putting him in position to turn. Because I mean, him and Seth have been buddy all the way up to this point, even though they've been fighting. And it's like now CM Punk's involved, which, as he made it clear, it's like I wasn't happy to see you when you came back either after War Games or whatever. You know, we smashed the beef. So it's like, yeah, Sammy's about to go there. Like I think it's time for heel a different, just like we get a different Seth, we got a different Sammy coming.
Yeah, Mark, I have a question to ask you because
didn't do
maybe I misunderstood, but I swear they said, and even CM Punk said that this is the first time he's really been back since WrestleMania. And I'm thinking, no, the Monday after WrestleMania is when Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman kicked your ass with Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
So, like, did they forget this, or did I misunderstand what they were saying?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. If it didn't happen, or if it happened within the last 3 days, I don't remember shit.
I think it was a misunderstanding.
Was it?
Yeah, because I don't think he was on the show.
Did Michael Cole say something about it first? Because we all know he fucks up.
No, it was Michael Cole and CM Punk. And
I think they made it the first time since Mania after Raw, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that what they also implied was this is the first time he's spoken after WrestleMania, but that's not true. He spoke the night after Raw.
I don't know. They forget shit too.
No, actually, I don't think. No, he didn't have a promo. He just came out to fight Seth. I don't think he actually said anything. And if he did, it probably wasn't that much compared to having the actual segment. Right, so I think that's what it was. But yeah, no, we all missed it. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure you were there. Right. But I think he meant he hadn't been there since him and Roman got beat up by Braun.
Okay.
Who knows? All right. So next we go to a recap of Dom versus Penta.
Recap.
I'm assuming WrestleMania or something. Yeah, I can't remember. Penta comes to the ring versus Chad Gable. Judgment Day, Dom. Oh no, sorry. Penta versus Chad Gable. Penta wins. I thought there was some interference in there, or attempted interference.
But the thing that stood out to me in this match was when Penta did the Canadian Death Driver. That's what's called.
Mexican Destroyer.
Yeah, Canadian Destroyer, whatever it's called. Man, I thought he killed Chad. I thought he legit.
Oh my God,
Gable. I was like,
Gable spiked.
Yeah, I mean, the way he was laying there, I'm like, holy fuck, is he alive? And they cut the camera, and then finally we seen Chad Gable sitting up, and I'm like, thank goodness. I thought he was hurt.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's such a good performer, man. He can sell well. I mean, it just sucks that he got a belt as his alter ego before he got a belt by himself.
Yeah,
but I guess it's part of the store. Yeah.
It's the speed belt, which they don't really advertise on the internet. So
no, they don't even bring it on TV.
Right? How relevant is it? I think I've seen one speed belt on TV one time.
I kind of compare it to AEW's FTW belt. It's like it was pointless. It's like why
defend it whenever they feel like making it the title. Yeah.
Right.
Well, they retired that belt too.
Thank God. Just like they need to retire the speed belt.
Right. Yeah, right. Because that's worse than what was it? The 24-hour
Yeah,
70.
I don't think anything can be worse than that crappy belt. Like it literally was a prop for a bunch of comedy skits, which they were great for me. Like Archer skits, and even when he was there, they were great. But that belt was absolute shit.
right. But what I was going to say is, when anyone else had it, I thought it was shit. But when R-Truth had it,
It
Right.
was gold.
he demanded that attention, and you didn't walk away from the TV when he had it.
No,
Right.
But yeah,
no, you didn't. Because R-Truth just made that belt for what it was worth. So, all right. So next we go to Judgment Day backstage. Dom and Finn kind of question each other. Then we go to a recap of Gunther versus Pat, which by far was my favorite match Saturday night. I give props to Pat. He put on a good performance for his age, for his lack of ability, whatever you want to call it. And he took a plain outright ass whooping, I think.
Yep. And that was a really good match. I like the storytelling in that. Pat can probably wrestle better than that, but he knew his role for that match and he did it well.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the match that I was surprised about, because of all the matches that was advertised. That's the match that I'm like, God, this is gonna be terrible. I'm gonna go outside to have a smoke, use the bathroom, and I'm like, holy crap, this is actually good.
Right.
Very good match.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
I got a question, Kev. Do you watch NXT at all? At all? Like any? Have you?
I have when I can. And people ask me this. I love NXT. The reason why I don't watch it faithfully is because if I added one more wrestling thing to my life, my wife would divorce me.
I
Because
understand. No,
every other night, it's either wrestling or the podcast or going to a show. Yeah, she would say, nope,
She's
I'm
like, we're
done.
done.
Yeah.
Career, marriage versus career.
I've seen your wife. She's
No,
a keeper. You ain't
Yeah,
going to
I
find
know.
anyone like that.
no, I was just asking because Pat McAfee had matches in NXT. I want to say before and during the pandemic, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. I did not see him all right away, but he did very well. So it wasn't Bad Bunny, Stephen Amell, Logan Paul, but it was like he was right there with him. So it's like I think he's got, even though he doesn't train like he probably used to when he was in NXT. He's very capable of probably
Right.
putting on a good match. It's just you can't make Gunther look weak, and I think that's what everybody was scared of. It's like, oh God, he's gonna fight Pat McAfee, and it's like they're gonna let Pat win. It's like, no, they're not gonna let Pat win,
Hey, did I
but he's gonna put
miss
up a good fight.
it on Saturday night? Did Gunther shake his hand after the match?
Mhm.
He saluted him. He
Oh.
didn't shake their hand.
Yeah.
He saluted Pat, and he gave Michael Cole a little point,
Yeah.
wink and point type thing. So he never shook their hand, but he's like, glad you guys stood up for yourself. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And I tell you,
Amy.
you talked about Logan Paul and Pat McAfee. I've seen Pat McAfee do flips and all that stuff off the top rope. I've seen him run and jump on the top rope. So you're right. He is very, very athletic. And he can wrestle a lot better than he did on a pay-per-view. Like you say, he did his job. But going back to Logan Paul, the only person that I would be okay seeing Logan Paul wrestle, as far as someone that came from another industry that kind of just jumped in the industry, would be Pat McAfee and Logan Paul. I think that would be a good match.
It would make sense.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I think Logan Paul is so much better, and maybe Pat's good, but Logan Paul, for his time in ring and whatnot, is exceptional, I think.
Yeah, I think Logan Paul, compared to the other three celebrities I mentioned, Logan Paul's a wrestler. Like, I ain't saying Stephen Amell. Like, Stephen Amell's been hanging with Cody Rhodes, so it's like when they did the whole thing with Stardust at SummerSlam, and everybody's like, "Oh my God!" Then he wrestled again. It's like, I'm pretty sure he's a good ways above Pat McAfee. That's the only celebrity I know that probably can jump back in like nothing. And then he trained for the TV show, so. I mean, I don't know anybody else. It's just that Bad Bunny was so good for the 2 times he wrestled. It's like, man, I want to see him again. It's like less is more. So when if he ever comes back, you're going to get another good match out of him unless they put him in something that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like the Royal Rumble 2022.
And you know what? Logan Paul actually gained my respect when a few PLEs ago he had cut an interview, and when he said, "Look, people were right. He was a part timer." And he said, the reason why I want to be a full timer, it isn't because I wanted to become rich because I'm already rich. It isn't because I want to become famous. I'm already famous. I'm doing it because I love the business. It's basically what he said. And he's right. So when he said after that promo, I gained a lot of respect for him because I never really thought about that, that he doesn't need to do this.
No, he doesn't.
He's doing it because he loves professional wrestling.
Shit, they pay me enough money. Well, fuck. Get me on TV. Fuck, I'll take a hit from any of them guys, and I'll take an actual hit. I ain't getting up, but
Yeah.
I'll take that hit. Even at my old
Right.
age.
They would just have to they would just have to deposit that check into your wife's account because you
Right.
Yeah, no.
You bet your ass and go to the top rope.
I respected being a referee, but self plug here. But Saturday I got to be in the Mississippi Rumble, dude, and they let me go for a couple of minutes. I didn't get thrown out as soon as I got cut off. But like I've always had a respect for wrestlers, and I'm just so blown away by like how they remember stuff and everything. And me being a ref and training with wrestlers, dude, like that stuff 100 times over, it hurts every time. Like there's no way to fake any of that, and to have passion for this business and never be a part of it and be able to jump in like Logan Paul did and like the other guys did. I just hats off to all of them. If they don't say if they don't say I love wrestling, I'd be surprised.
So what for the Rumble, what number did you come out at?
I was 34. We had it was the belt. It was for a belt. They introduced a new belt, and it was a 40-man Rumble. A bit long. The match itself was probably about an hour and a half long, just with the amount of people in there, and 90 minutes, a minute and a half every entrance. So they started speeding it up towards the end. But yeah, it was fun. 34 out of 40. I got thrown out before like maybe 3 wrestlers. No, I got thrown out before the last 2 wrestlers came out. So I didn't win the belt. I don't have anything to show off, but it was fun.
Did you eliminate anyone?
Yeah. I tried to recreate the stunner spot, but the guy couldn't jump over the rope. He had been out there like twice already. He had a match at the pre-show. He was in the Rumble as 2 different characters. So by the time I threw him out, like another guy was supposed to throw him out, but like the other guy that's supposed to throw him out is a close friend of mine. So he's like, nah, dude, you can have it. I'm being there the whole match. Like he entered at number 1, and that dude was like, nah, we'll just do a tag team move on him, and you throw him out. I was like, all right, cool with me. So yeah, in my Rumble career, I have 2 eliminations in 3 Rumbles. 4. No, I'm sorry, 4 Rumbles. I forgot I was a referee in one that actually got in the ring and got out. I eliminated myself, so I got 3 Rumbles.
So Mark, say you can't throw anybody out as a ref. Well, you shouldn't. At
No.
That'd be a great storyline, though. That'd be a great storyline. Ref throws somebody out. That'd be a legitimate bitch.
Yeah. So that's what they like. February? The one I was in, that was the whole story. It was like the guy was bullying me because I tried to count the 3 in his tag match and cost him the belt. So we turned it into a story the next week. I was in the Rumble. I was supposed to be a mystery partner, but life happens for some people. So I wasn't supposed to be there technically. I was gonna be there anyway, but ended up happening that I worked the show. So we had to come up with a whole injury angle. I'm working as a ref, and you'll see the pictures all over Facebook of me with a back brace on. So I ended up getting in the Rumble later that night and throwing the guy out.
Well, you know what?
Guy twice my size at that.
Good for you for lasting even a few minutes. I think you deserve an applause. All right, Mark.
All right, so next we go to Sammy and Punk. They basically introduced that Sammy and Punk versus, I can't even remember now. Braun and Seth.
Braun and Seth.
Saturday main event.
Yep.
Then we go to Sammy and Punk back in the locker room, basically expressing trust issues.
So next hold on. I want to talk about whenever Brian Breaker jumped on CM Punk and the whole Seth Rollins thing. And I wish Bob Cook could be here because Brian Breaker was throwing some of the worst punches I've ever seen when he was on top of CM Punk. I mean, it was really, really bad. I'm like, what the fuck's going on with him? I mean, he was literally punching himself. I mean, it was just go back and watch it. It was really bad.
on,
Like, what the
on a
fuck?
scale of 1 to Naomi, how bad were they?
Oh wow! Not, I don't think anyone can be as bad as Naomi. I mean,
Went from
that,
punching to throwing a temper tantrum, and it's like, oh god, no,
yeah,
I
that
saw
was
what you were talking about. I think he's just not used to being a striker, man. He
You
yeah.
didn't.
know, the problem is nobody has the dedication like Ric Flair, where they punch a string 1,000 times a day.
Bob Cook, man. Bob Cook was known for being the best punch in professional wrestling.
You know, you'd think that Braun would be better at it, considering Rick was more of the. I think Rick was more of a strike person than Scott was,
Yeah,
if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. But like,
yeah,
because towards the hardcore between the two of them, I would think with his dad being like that, he'd be able to punch better than that.
yeah. I don't know. I tell you what, though, you look at Braun Breaker's hands. That motherfucker got some big hands. I'm like,
More reason not to suck at punching.
yeah,
How you
Right.
miss?
Right. Well, no matter how you cut it, he's a big boy. Period.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe see a Punk was like, don't really hit me because you got some big hands. And if you hit me, you can knock me out.
Might give him UFC flashback.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Don't hit me with them ham hocks. All right. All right. So next, New Day to commentary for the match: War Raiders versus American Made. This match just kind of went yawn on me. Sorry.
It's because I'm the same way. I am just not interested in anything the War Raiders are doing at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Raw Tag Team division is not like they're building up the SmackDown Tag Team division way
Yeah.
better.
Oh,
New
yeah.
Day having the belts makes it better, but like they don't have much to choose from.
Yeah.
And I like American Made. I think they're phenomenal. I really do. These guys are tag champs all day long. Just a matter of a win.
Yeah, they just not getting that push because the War Raiders won that match.
I don't know.
I think, yeah, the War Raiders won that match, didn't
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
No,
they? They
New
didn't?
Day interfered. No, New Day interfered. Creed Brothers won.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
That's right.
right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. How much I just wasn't invested in this match.
Right. Exactly. Sorry.
Yeah, I was in and out the room during the match. I just because I didn't even see the finish, so
Yeah.
I just know that Michael Cole was in Creed Brothers won because of the New Day.
Well, the thing is, we pride ourselves in being honest. So all right. So next we got Seth, Braun, and Paul back in the locker room or whatnot, and just a bunch of gibberish. And then Seth asks Braun a favor, but he whispers in his ear.
Yep.
Then we go to Jay to the ring. Gunther shortly thereafter. And Gunther kind of gave him the riot act. And he pretty much said, well, whoever wins Saturday Night Main Event, I get the winner. And I hope it's you, Jay. And you know what? I could see Jay dropping the belt, not to Logan Paul. I'd be surprised. And I wouldn't be upset over dropping it to Logan Paul. But I guarantee he'll probably drop it back to Gunther.
I'll be honest with you. I think that I would get more invested in a Logan Paul versus Gunther match versus a Gunther and Jay part 2.
That's funny. Oh, I wrote round 2. Sorry.
Yeah, so point 2. What
Well,
about you,
it
George?
would be it would technically be part 4, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
So think about it that way.
Yeah.
I got excited because I'm like, they wouldn't let Gunther lose twice, would they? But that's where my head's. I'm confused because I'm like, he's gonna get another title shot while Jay's the champ, and
Well, he
I
gets
don't
his
see.
rematch.
Yeah, that's technically his rematch, but this is number 4, like
But hold on
or
a
5,
second.
whatever it is. He beat him like 3 times before he lost to him, and now he's gonna get a rematch. We're just, and I'm just assuming, Jay beats Logan.
But wait a second here, Mark. You said, well, he gets his rematch. I thought WWE said a while back that the whole rematch thing was gone. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, and they also said at one point in time they were going to listen to the fans, and that never happened either. So,
I was going to say, I've
I
seen so many championship rematches since they said that, whether it was 2 or 3 matches or shows down the line. Like, they
right.
just meant they weren't going to. I think they just weren't going to do it right away. Like, you're not going to get that Monday Nitro. Oh, we got the rematch from Starrcade tonight. Like, you just saw this match last night. We're going to do it again. Like, no.
Right. I don't remember squat, but I distinctly remember Vince, Stephanie, and Shane, and it might have been Triple H in the ring
He
like
was.
4 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
We're gonna
all
listen to
4
the
of them.
fans. We're gonna listen to the fans. You know, and the crowd went nuts, and we all got pissed on. So, all right. So next we go to a Sabu memorial. Tragic that he died. Didn't he just have his last match like not too long ago?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he
yeah, he
did
did.
actually,
And
like a GCW show or something.
yeah, and when I was talking to Brian Richards last interview, we talked about Sabu, and I'm going to repeat myself that Sabu never got the recognition or the flowers that he deserved because um, Sabu was part of those wrestlers who made wrestling, I guess you could say, cool to watch again. Because before that, before Sabu and ECW and Dreamer, it really wasn't cool to watch wrestling. You would get picked on, and it was Sabu that made wrestling cool again before WCW, before the Attitude Era, really. So he doesn't get the flowers that he deserves. I think he's extremely underrated. He literally put his life on the line constantly to entertain the fans. I think that this is a huge loss for the wrestling community. I really do. And my heart goes out to his family and all those who loved him.
Did they ever say what the cause of death was yet?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. So next we see Jey Uso on the ground, Sami Zayn coming, screaming with like a chicken with his head cut off. You know. Next we go to Finn versus AJ. I thought it was strange, and we've talked about this, that they mentioned Bullet Club. Bullet Club never existed in, well, they said that both were former leaders of Bullet Club. All
Mhm.
right. Well, only AJ was in charge of Bullet Club in WWE. All right. So maybe there's going to be some dealings with New
No,
Japan.
no, no. So
You're
what happened when Triple H took over? They started mentioning other companies because they even say that the War Raiders and somebody else were IWGP champions and stuff like that. So they've been more lenient with mentioning other companies, groups, and championships and stuff like that. So I remember when Vince left the first time, I think it was, there was a mention of the IWGP belt and Ring of Honor and stuff like that, even though AEW owned Ring of Honor, but it's like they will not say AEW. That's about the only thing they won't
right.
say on WWE TV.
And if I
And they
remember,
probably won't say Ring of Honor anymore.
yeah, and if I remember correctly, as far as Finn Balor being kind of that guy, that head guy with the Bullet Club, I think that was during his time in New Japan, wasn't it, George?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Mark is right. Bullet Club never existed in WWE. They're just
right,
able to say it. They're able to say it, and they're saying it because they know that that's the one thing I give Triple H and whoever's over creative now with him. They're not treating the fans like they're stupid, so they
right,
actually say stuff that existed in other companies. Like they keep mentioning, and especially with the TNA partnership, they keep mentioning how like Mia Yim and Chelsea Green were knockouts champions. They don't just they've main evented like shows on Impact and all. They're saying stuff like that now. So that's the culture of how Triple H runs it now. It's like we're not going to tell you, oh, they won belts everywhere. Like we're going to tell you, hey, they won the NWA title or they won the New Japan belts and stuff like that. They're actually going to mention the other companies now.
yeah. I
That
mean,
doesn't mean they have deals with them.
the only time I've been really surprised lately that they mentioned something was when they mentioned Dean Ambrose a few weeks ago. That was a little bit of a surprise that they actually, mentioned him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they didn't call him Moxley. It was Dean Ambrose, and there was no reference to AEW at all. So
I thought he was
Yeah.
being
No,
embraced WWE.
I don't know if he'll ever be back.
no, I don't know. It's a never say never, but it's at the same time, I don't know. Seth Rollins was talking trash during the triple threat match at WrestleMania. He did tell Roman he ran off Mox.
Yeah.
So they've said Mox a couple of times. They usually say Dean Ambrose, but when it's Seth and Roman, they literally like
You're right.
just say Mox
Yep.
or something, or John or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very weird though. It's like instead of saying Dean Ambrose or Daniel Bryan and stuff like that, like
Yeah, and you
using
know,
the WWE names.
and as far as him, never coming back, I don't think that if he does come back, I don't think it's going to be because of Triple H. I think Triple H would take him back. I think the Mox is just very, very bitter towards WWE. So that's going to be on him whether or not they ever come back. He ever comes back or not.
Yeah, I think
Right.
you're right. I think he's extremely bitter. I don't know why. I think he had a couple storylines that they didn't like or something, or didn't pan out the way he wanted it to, and it just pissed him off.
So the thing that, from what I understand, that was over the top, that where he said that I am done with this was when they made him cut a promo against Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns had cancer, and they made him kind of say something about his cancer. And he did not want to do that promo. He did it, but he said that at that point he knew that he was going to be done. So
All right. All right. So during the match, Carlito and GD come to the ring, and they pan away for a quick second. There's Penta standing on the railings, and he ends up taking them both out. He's
yep,
Super Penta.
and AJ Styles wins the match.
Yeah, AJ won the match.
No, and
All
it
right.
was a decent match.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
well,
like the match.
Yeah.
I laughed when Penta was standing on there. It was like Batman showed up because they're like they just pan over and he's just magically standing on the
right. Like you guys
But
didn't
yeah.
stand there. You know?
Like we didn't notice the crowd yelling because he was
Right.
there. But yeah, no, the match was great. Finn versus AJ always delivers.
Absolutely.
Next we go to a recap of Becky and Lyra on
Recap.
Saturday night. Again, this was a really good match and whatnot. And I guess Lyra did go to the hospital after the match.
Hmm.
Let's see. And then we go to Becky to the ring, and Becky's taking notes from Seth or some shit on how to deliver her rants. You know, she's saying she didn't lose Saturday. And I'm like, you're fucking delusional.
Yeah, I tell you, that probably was the most rage as far as Becky cutting a promo I've ever seen. I didn't hate it. I like an angry Becky Lynch. I really, really do.
Everybody likes an angry leprechaun, though.
No, I think it was pretty good. I was like half interested because it started. I was like, all right, she's just cutting the traditional heel promo, trying to get the heat on the crowd. Then she started going off, and it's like, okay, but no, it hit all the points and kept the crowd hating her. So I mean, that was a really good match Saturday. So I think the next match will be what I think she beat Lyra beat her in NXT. Becky, put her over, gave her the NXT title. This time they're fighting over that. I think eventually Becky wins the belt though.
Oh yeah,
I agree. Because if they're trying to give Lyra a push, she needs to be able to be that one that's chasing the belt. That's part of giving her that push.
she needs to keep the goofy wings away though when she comes
yeah,
out.
I know. I hate those wings.
Hey, they were better Saturday. They were better than the ones at WrestleMania.
I don't know. I don't understand the logic behind it. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. So real quick, Lighten the Titan says it's the guy who wants to steal my name. LOL. Lighten was with us on last week. That's Bob Cook, Lighten. Bob Cook is off tonight. He will be back next Monday or next Tuesday, though, brother.
Sorry, we can't fill his shoes.
Nope.
I could be superficial, but it just doesn't come across as good as Bob.
It's way better, and none of us are like pounding away Mountain Dew. So
No.
Right. All right, so next we go to a Rusev vignette. Come on, we heard this stuff in AEW. You know,
That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, okay. So we have the same characters, AEW, different
So
name.
hear me out, guys. Hear me out.
Sure.
So when I did watch AEW, he kept these promos, right? We all know this. And we were watching him hoping that something better happened in AEW than what Vince was doing with him before he left. It's not. But think about it this way. There's a lot of stuff that WWE is trying to do or does with AEW wrestlers. Like Ricky Stark's presentation is the exact same. Obviously, Cody came in with the same presentation. They didn't have to do that with Aleister Black because they just pegged him in where he was. Rusev having the Redeemer character in WWE, they're gonna take what idea he had at AEW and make it better there.
Yeah.
Whether it's boring or the same old stick or not, but I think that's the whole point. Triple H is just like, we're gonna use him better than you did because we're not gonna fumble him twice. If he leaves this time, it's just because we have nothing for him or he has nothing. But
Yeah,
I think it's gonna work, but it's gonna build up to something if they keep the long term like they've been doing.
Well, it's something
So-
else. Something else too is I think that Otis is going to eventually get with Rusev. That's just the way it
Yeah.
looks, So, and I like that. I would like to see Otis as somewhat of a heel, getting that push to sell this ridiculous shit that he's been doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I think Otis has a lot of potential that has been kind of wasted.
Yeah.
I got $5 as they choke the chicken on Rusev. Give it 3 months, 6 months.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Lost in the shuffle like Andrade.
Yep.
Right, exactly. All right. So next we go to Pierce with Alpha Academy and Tozawa, saying, "Hey, I can take Rusev," and the other two back, and I'm like, "Are you fucking high, dude?"
Versus Homicide on Raw with
The sad thing is, though, I want to see this match.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like Tozawa and Rusev can have a great match. The problem is, it's Alpha Academy Tozawa versus Rusev, which is not the same.
Yeah.
He's gonna get mauled, like squash in like 3 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
All right. So then we go to Sheamus and Pierce. He wants to fight JD McDonough next week, and that match has been cleared.
Was it JD or was it Oh, it wasn't. I thought it was who is with
Grayson Waller?
Yeah, I thought it was Grayson Waller that he's fighting.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's not
Really?
JD. Yeah.
Oh, I thought for sure JD. Sorry.
No, Grayson.
My bad. I pulled a
Because
Michael Cole.
because they're continuing the storyline.
Pulled a Michael Cole.
Yeah. I think they continue that storyline with Grayson Waller and his partner. How so we are going to see a breakup here pretty soon between these.
So here's the thing. Remember, we didn't see the Killer Cross or Karrion Cross promo last week. They did the same thing with. So I guess it's for premium members that don't get the commercial breaks. They have these skits and promos during the commercial breaks that we don't get to see. So this time, that promo with Theory and Waller was ending when the commercial break went, and it was obviously the opposite of what happened last week, where Theory's like putting Grayson Waller in the match or something like that, because he sounded fired up, like he told Theory something. I saw the beginning because somebody clipped that Grayson Waller made a mama joke to Kathy Kelly, but like the actual promo didn't even air for us, so we caught the ass end of it on after the commercial break.
Right. And let me ask you guys, both of you, a question. When Theory and Waller break up, they're going to have their little feud, and then they're going to be casted in whatever way Triple H decides to bring them. Who do you think is going to be the star out of those two, if any at all?
It's still going to be Theory. It's got to be Theory.
So you think
Grayson Waller's just like Miz 2.0, like if that.
Yeah. So do you think Waller then is going to be pushed to the very bottom mid card?
Absolutely. Like I think so. You don't think so, Mark?
No, I think he's going to be the Miz, but 10 years younger, where he's going to be putting over talent.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So next we go to Io and Rhea versus Julia and Roxanne. Rhea threw one hell of a drop kick. You don't see that too often with Rhea, but that was one hell of a drop kick. End result is Rhea and EO
Yeah.
won, and Rhea dropped that girl like a bad habit, man. I felt that.
Yeah, I know the
I
drop kick you
felt
were
that.
talking about.
So
No, I'm
at
talking about for the pin.
right
She
for
just
the
picked
pin.
up
Yeah.
and dropped
Oh
him like,
yeah.
I'm
Now,
like, damn, I felt that.
did you guys notice that after the match, the camera was on Io Sky and Rhea, and then Rhea just started staring at that belt. Um, are we going to see anytime soon another Rhea and Io Sky match? And will they put the belt back onto Rhea? And are we going to have a Rhea turn heel again?
Okay, hold on. I got to do my Bob Cook throw in. The only thing I really took away from that after the fact was that Rhea slapped her butt. Io rubbed it and smiled.
See, Mark,
That's
when
for you,
you say
Bob.
it, no, see, when you say it though, Mark, it just seems creepy and disturbing.
Discredited right away.
Right.
Like it's not the same. You gotta flash some Mountain Dew in the camera when you do it, man.
Right. I didn't have that Bob Cook
Slamming.
presence.
That was too short of a rant, man. Like
Oh, I'm
you gotta
sorry.
start throwing bottles or something.
Oh, well, she didn't pat it hard enough for long enough, and just didn't give her that look. She should have given her a better sensual look.
See, the spirit of Bob just kind of went into you just a little bit. So that was a little bit better. Still creepy, but a little bit better.
Yeah, and Bob's older than I am.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, do you think we're going to see a heel Rhea turn on?
I don't think there's
Sky?
I don't think there's a reason. There's none. They can, and this is just me thinking everybody doesn't have to turn on everybody because you can break up tag teams without making them like bitter rivals and stuff. This is one of those cases where I don't see Rhea needing to turn heel. It's just going to be competitive because she already said we're still friends, but I'm coming after the belt. So she doesn't have to turn heel. She can just be Rhea Ripley, and EO can be EO. EO's not really. I mean, she's babyface because she's just Smiley doing her little taunts and all of that. But it's just, they can go their separate ways and not be like, distinguishable heels or faces with that. I am happy Julia got to make her debut on Raw too. So
yeah, and I'll be honest though, I don't like the belt being on Io Sky. Nothing against Io. I just don't think she makes a great champion. I think Rhea will represent the belt much better. Mark, your thoughts? Do you think Io Sky should keep the belt or should it go back to Rhea?
I like Io as a champ. I do, because even though she's a Japanese Lance Storm, she's got all the ability. She needs a mouthpiece. She really does. As far as Rhea, she doesn't need the belt. She's transcended beyond that. And as far as being a heel or a face, she's transcended that too because she's in that anti-hero stage. All right.
Yeah, you're right. I think
she sits with the Austins and whoever else you want to throw in there that can play a healer role or heel or face, and it doesn't matter because the crowd's going to cheer them regardless, just because they like that person.
right. I think that in order to turn Rhea heel, she would have to do something really terrible because I agree with you.
She has to get back with Dom.
No, because Dom's even getting cheered on. The crowd would probably lose their shit and love it.
No, I think George is right. I think if she got back with Dom, the crowd would turn on her.
I don't know, man,
like
because the crowd.
You beat his ass for a year, like, and then you just go back to him.
The problem
is that Dom, what's the difference? She beat his ass in public or private?
The problem is that Dom is getting more cheers and more boos now. So I think that if she went back to Dom, I think the fans would lose their shit and they would get a major pop. I think people would love it now.
And the heat would end up on Liv when she came back.
Yeah.
So I did love when Dom says, "Yeah, Liv says hi to everybody, but they're 8 hours different." Or she said good morning, and it was like afternoon. You don't know about The time difference.
Yeah, the time zone jokes went on
Yeah,
for,
I'm like,
for
okay,
the whole
now
show.
not only are you dirty Dom, you're dirty dumb Dom. I mean, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
And I
Oh, man.
guess he did an interview about him eating chicken tenders. And they're like, how often do you eat chicken tenders? Oh, any chance I get. You know, I'm like, really? You can live on chicken tenders? I mean, I like chicken tenders, but I can't live on them.
There's a few videos of Dom and the whole chicken tender thing on YouTube. Oh my
Yeah.
good God. The stupid shit that people like. And here I am with a damn good podcast, and I can only get 150 fucking subscribers.
Right,
I mean,
right.
what the
That's what I'm
fuck?
saying.
Need more chicken tenders, dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe we can entice Dom to come on with chicken tenders.
Well, I'm going to email him.
Yeah. Good luck.
Look, I've been finding people's emails and sending emails too, and I know that I'm we're too small. They're not going to respond back. But the one that really bothers me that I still have not heard from yet is Tony Khan, because I sent him an email saying that me and Mark can help your product. You need it, man. I really did. I'm like, you're shit. It's the drizzling shits. You let me get to the drizzling shits.
You know, now, do I think we could book better? Not necessarily, but you get us in a room with some bookers, and we could bat some ideas around pretty good. And the fact that Tony Khan didn't even dignify us by having his secretary turn us down is
Right.
outrageous. Outrageous.
Look,
Even
George,
her secretary.
I swear to God, there's been times that me or Mark have said something that needs to happen in AEW, and the following Wednesday we turn it on and be goddamn if they're not doing it. I'm
Well, at
telling
least
you.
three times. At least three
Yeah.
times.
I'm like,
I've seen
someone
that a
from
lot,
AEW
though.
watch this.
AEW will do everything Twitter says like 2 weeks later.
Right.
Everything from Twitter and WWE, whatever they say is like they're doing the opposite or they're doing it the next week. Like,
Look,
I'm like, what?
As bad as AEW has got at times, the worst thing, in my opinion, that's ever happened on AEW was that exploding ring match.
Oh, God.
Where Eddie jumps on top of fucking Mox to protect him, and it went poof, and Eddie still pretended he was knocked out.
Hey, he did what he was supposed to do.
Look, and then for them to say to try to clean it up was, well, it's because of my anxiety. I got my anxiety made me pass out. I'm like, oh man.
Every joke, everything that came out after that, whether it was public, social media, or on the show, it's just like there's no way to cover that up.
Yeah,
I don't know what's worse, that segment with the exploding ring, or whenever Fred, what's his last name? He just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. He ran through a wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the
Shock Trooper.
Shockmaster.
Yeah, the Shockmaster.
Shockmaster back in it. Yeah.
What segment is worse to you guys, the Shockmaster or that exploding ring?
Titus tripping on the Royal Rumble under the ring. That is by far the funniest thing I've seen.
Insert Monday Night Raw during the pandemic. Like anything that happened there that was supposed to be funny with no crowd and it's just so awkward and cringe. No, but I think between those two moments, I still think the exploding ring, because didn't they have an audience then that was like close to the end of the?
Yeah, it was a freaking pay-per-view.
What, the Shockmaster?
No.
Shockmaster was like a Saturday night or something like that.
Right.
The exploding match for AEW, that was in that was when they were still doing the shows at Daly's Place in Stadium. So they started having crowds and stuff. Like they still had an audience when that happened, and it was like really bad because I mean, you can't. Yeah. I mean, if that had happened in a stadium full of 80,000 or something in Wembley or something like that, it would have been embarrassing.
Yeah. Now I will give AEW. I'll give AEW this much. During the pandemic, I definitely prefer watching AEW over WWE because AEW at least had their wrestlers around the ring and there was some noise versus the stupid TVs or whatever they called it.
That was the Thunderdome, yeah.
Yeah, the Thunderdome. That was terrible.
Well, in their defense, this is me being a WWE guy. The Thunderdome was a lot better than the Performance Center because they weren't feeding the wrestlers and paying them for that.
Right,
So
right.
you know,
I agree with
the
that.
fans could get on the computer for free and be a fan on the screen.
Yeah.
Whereas you know Tony Khan was paying everybody, which is great. You know, I know a couple of people that said they were there, but they weren't, you know, being used, and they were still getting paid, and they weren't being able to sit at home and not get used when they started getting crowds back. But
Right.
you know, he was paying people. They had a crowd that was cheering. They had matches. I watched Dark Elevation a lot during the pandemic compared to. I don't even remember some of the stuff that happened on Raw and SmackDown.
You gotta remember though, back in the day when Vince had that little talk show thing, with him and who was it, Bobby Heenan?
Yeah, on primetime wrestling.
I don't
Was
know.
it?
It was. I thought it wasn't Bobby Heenan. It was shit.
Wasn't
Gorilla
Gorilla, was
Monsoon
it?
and Bobby.
No, it was Lloyd. The
Oh
guy
yeah.
that spoke English.
Sir Walter Roy or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
But
Lloyd.
Oh,
anyways,
Lord Alfred Hayes.
yeah,
Lord
Lord
Alfred Hayes.
Alfred Hayes. There you go.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah.
That whole crowd was all Titan employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they used to sit around on the. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because they had primetime wrestling and they had like Tuesday Night Titan or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, I tell
That
you,
was before my time.
if you want to talk about bad things that should have never been done and be erased from the history, was when Vince McMahon did that song wearing those tight pants, dancing, and Hulk Hogan. I'm like, oh God, that was bad.
that little grand show or whatever. Yeah, they had Chris Benoit made fun of Vince on one of the episodes of Raw.
Yeah.
Talking about stand back. Yeah, no,
That's it.
crazy.
Stand back or something, man.
Oh man. And I think this segment I'm about to talk about was funny. Some people think it was terrible. But when Sexual Chocolate became a daddy of a hand because Maeve had a baby on national TV and it was a hand that came out of her. You guys remember that?
Yes.
That was peak attitude era. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So, would you give that segment a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Just for creativity, I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
no pun intended. I'm like, it had enough hands in that segment. I'm not giving it any thumbs.
The shit that this man
absolutely not.
Like, what the fuck, man? Terrible. But anyway,
some days
guys,
I miss Vince's creative, and some days I don't. But it's like
Yeah.
I think about the Attitude Era. It's like I don't remember any matches from the Attitude Era. So it's like I don't know what he was booking back then.
that is great. What's that, Mark?
He was booking some coke.
Vince McMahon is the luckiest son of a bitch in the world because we all know that everyone was doing steroids and he goes to court because he got indicted and gets found not guilty. I mean, he's been so lucky. I mean, even with this shit that happened to him, he settled
kind
to
of
pay
getting
some
away.
money.
Yeah.
That was pocket change to him. You know, so I don't know, man. I'm still shocked that we've not seen Vince McMahon get involved in something when it comes to professional wrestling. I am still waiting to hear that he's starting a new company. I swear to God, I am. I just don't think Vince could sit at home.
But I don't think he can pull the wrestlers, you know. I mean, money wise, maybe, but you know, I don't think the wrestlers want to work for him anymore.
Yeah, the moral compass is there for the wrestlers that don't want to be bothered with him, and you know he's gonna start to be one of those companies with no women's wrestlers or something.
But you know what? There's a lot of wrestlers on the indie scene that would love to make money and be on film. And Vince could pay people to train these guys to make them into stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You know, I mean, you're talking these guys that are making what, $500 a week, maybe. You know, all of a sudden they're making 6 times that, 10 times that. Yeah. You know, sign me up. I'd be a guy.
500 is a bit high for the indies, Mark.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Be lucky if you get 200
for a week.
Yeah,
I mean, you only do one show a week unless you're working like the whole weekend, plus whatever day, like depending on the area. Like there's not many Monday and Tuesdays. I've seen Wednesday and Thursdays for sure, but You'd have to work the whole week to be making that. And that's
Now,
100 a night.
unless if you're working for the Micro Wrestling Federation, these little guys, little people that they pack the halls. They're making between $75,000 to $100,000 a year. They're probably the highest paid indie wrestlers out there.
I gotta change my classification. I just need to Andre the Giant singlet. I got the long boots. I just need the black singlet. I'm doing
it. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's a wrap up for the review of Monday Night Raw. I would give it a B. I really would. George?
I agree with that. Solid B.
I'm gonna go C plus. I just couldn't get into it.
You're just a dick, man.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about saying.
People say that I'm the asshole. I'm not. I'm a nice guy. I gave him a B. Here you are, C plus.
Dude, I just owned up to it. I didn't deny it. I owned up to it. Jesus Christ, give me some slack.
Hey, it didn't dull our interest like the episode after the Raw for Mania. So it was like it was good.
Oh no, it was better than what I've seen, but
Right.
it still isn't B worthy in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's it for the Raw recap. Again, we won't be here Thursday to do a review of AEW.
We won't be here Saturday either.
Nope, and I won't be here Saturday for the Friday night SmackDown review. I will be in St. Louis at FanFest 3. So you guys have a great week. George, Mark.
Markle Cole. Markle Cole.
I'll take that. I didn't have a good flub up tonight. Actually, 2 eggs.
So I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bob, I know you had some stuff going on, man. We missed you tonight. I really missed you tonight because I had to listen to Mark try to be you, and it was terrible. I mean, we're talking about creepy old man terrible. So until then, guys, hopefully Bob will be back with us. Mark, say your thing.
No, I'm not saying it, man. I've been disrespected enough tonight. Bring the damn bell. I'm out of here.